Hayo de Gallo. This is another Kirby comic and my first Captain America. So, aside from being absolutely enthralled by the guy and really loving his work, I guess over the years, as a kid, as a young guy, little guy, probably Spider-Man was my favorite. But I think if it's an okay thing for an adult to have a favorite superhero, it'd probably be Captain America. Yeah, especially the movies. Yeah, at least the first one had a big influence on me. Just again the ethic and again the thing that draws me to the Kirby comics is Jack's craft and his work ethic. The amazing splash pages here. He's bashing two guys while facing down a gunman. Amazing lettering from the top, top down everything. Now, something that I want to learn as an artist to get better at is all this stuff that's going on. Like, where's his belly button at? Where's his abs? Like his shoulders connects to his chest, connects to his abs, connects to his waist, and then all that. That's something I want to get better at. And then his arms going back, just how you build that guy. And yeah, good stuff. And also, I like the brawling kind of character that he is, so I'm kind of a fan of that. So let's get into this story. So what's going on is you have some. This is a Red Skull story. So these guys are trying to rob this place to get some stuff for their jewel thieves or whatever. And I think they get a key, but we don't know that yet. And so Captain America is fighting these guys and he's starting to win. But then Nick Fury shows up. And the funny thing here is they're asking for this guy's permit for the blaster. They even call it a blaster, laser gun, whatever that he's carrying. And if you don't have a permit, it's a misdemeanor. Which, USA, all right. It cracks me up. But again, I love the fight sequences. This is something I noticed just now. I like that he's underneath of this guy's arm. He's underneath of this guy's arm to grab him. So it's like, I almost think of it like boxing, where he's slipping the punch, going inside, and then throwing a right jab at him as his arm's going over the top. Really good stuff. And then he throws him away. These guys tackle him. And then, again, action everywhere. Nick Fury jumps in. Again, says, leave him alone. He's not doing anything wrong. You attacked him. Sides with him. Of course, it's a setup because he's planted a tracking device on that guy who we find out is an associate of Red Skull. They're going back and forth, and Nick Fury calls Captain America Winghead. So I don't think anybody likes Nick Fury, which cracks me up. But also, here's a Pontiac, a hot rod. So yeah, if you draw cars in your comics, I'm gonna be a fan of it. Way to go, Jack. And so here we go to this guy, Red Skull, and so the idea is that they're awakening some ancient monster to destroy the world, or at least he can command him to destroy, as this ultimate doomsday weapon, so that he can rule the world, which is his deal. So, is there any other? Yeah. Yep. Good stuff. And then, okay, so then we have schemes. We got a little backstory about how Red Skull arrived where he's at. And then in the meantime, Captain America is following the robbers from the earlier page. And that's what they were doing. They were robbing to get this key, and the key controls the Kirby monster. And so that's what's going on. So more advertisements. And also with these old comics, to me, half of the fun is seeing the old ads. I remember these toys. They were crappy. Okay, so let's keep going. So following the guys, jumps out of the plane. Somehow the army immediately finds him and captures Captain America. Again, great fight scene. So again, one of the things that I love about Captain America is he's outnumbered 10-1 and he is jumping right in. What a great panel that is. I mean, just, I'm not afraid of anything. Um, just putting his nose right in there. And again, he's getting, bashing that guy with the shield. There's an uppercut right there. And I don't know, I think some of Kirby's background, he grew up as kind of a tough kid in New York, and probably had to do a lot of fighting. But there's a lot of boxing moves in here, just like ducking down, all those things. It's good stuff. And then finally somebody gets a drop on him, whacks him, and then here's our Jewel Thief to present to Red Skull this magical key that controls this Doomsday monster guy. So Captain America wakes up. They're having a back and forth. Of course, it's the very tropey classic thing that the bad guy awakens a Doomsday device that really he can't control because it's vibrating so much that he can't handle it. More ads, and then what amazing character design on these Kirby monsters. I love it. I mean, good stuff. And then fun. Yeah. This is something that Kirby does a lot, are these panels like this. Oh, too close. Sorry. So he does these panels like this where there's red, he's got a little bit of the crackle in there, an explosion, but red and silhouette. He does a really good job of spotting his blacks. I don't know if that's talked about enough, but again, really great character design. And then of course they find out that he can't be controlled. And out of all the Kirby comics that I have, this panel is my favorite one. I love this. Just that straight right, that right cross, knocking that guy out, and of course looks like he broke a couple of his teeth, which that's what he deserves. And then he still leaves the left hand up there, so if you throw that right, you got to keep your left up for the counter, right, guys? Oh, and sorry about that. I zoomed in a little bit closer for this video. Normally I pan back, so the mental settings of where to put the comic in my mind is a little off. Sorry about that, peoples. Yeah, here, let's try it again. Boop. There we go. Are we cool? Awesome. So let's keep going here. More wonderful ads. And then more. Look at this panel. Look at that. Our monster. So what the idea of the monster is that it's a living volcano. And so that's part of what it is. It can destroy any island, any piece of land. I mean, it's a gigantic volcano laser beam. And so here we have him blowing up the entire island. He's at the bottom of the ocean, so he leans back, his face turns into a laser beam, and then in the middle of all that, they're trying to get away. And also, this is really good right here. So look at that. So he's running ahead. Everything's kind of diagonaled up in there. Kirby doesn't break. There's not a ton of times where he breaks the panels, and he keeps everything pretty sharp, but I always like when you get a little bit of different tilted perspective like that. Good stuff. And so towards the end of the comic, what ends up happening is they're fighting each other for the key. And again, this is part of the reason why it appeals to my ethic. The idea that what they're talking about here is they're fighting each other back and forth for the key, and this guy wants to rule the world, and he's criticizing him for his idealism and hope in the future. And Captain America is saying things like, listen, our hope and future our future depends, in reality, is of faith and hope. And that's appeals to my ethic and background and belief system very much so, that it's something worth fighting for, and that tomorrow is always better than today, and that freedom and liberty and faith and hope and all those things are all tied up in, freedom isn't free, all that stuff. So really good stuff. That's just the background of the belief system of this. So yeah, really good stuff that appeals to my sensibilities. And part of the reason why, as I read through this comic, is like, oh yeah, that's why I like Captain America so much. And so at the end of it, he does wrestle this key thing away from Red Skull. The island blows up. They almost drowned. Captain America barely gets out, and it's like, well, I got the key, but will it do us any good? And that's like the kind of a good storytelling piece, because at the moment here where the water's gushing in and you don't know what's happened to him, you go up here and it zooms back to Nick Fury, and they found that the lava monster is at the bottom of the ocean, and it's just waiting there, and they're thinking, what are we going to do? And they think Captain America has died, and if we haven't looked, we think he has too, but he comes up with the key, and he says, well, I got the key, but what good does it do me? Dun, dun, dun. And then that's the story. So, again, really good storytelling. Always you're going to get dynamic, amazing action out of Kirby. And again, out of all the Kirby comics I have, I'll end on that. That's my favorite. That is my favorite panel, probably of anything that I have and have run across a Kirby so far. That's my favorite. Just a very dynamic panel, action scene. I'm just going on and on here, but again, that idea, I do want to wrap up about Jack himself. That work ethic. Again, I think this might be, unless I have misread the time, this is his 70's period when he's left DC. He left Marvel to go to DC, and he's back, and there's no reason for him to be creating something so amazing and dynamic on page 23 of a comic. But it's his work ethic, it's who he is, and why I admire him so much. So anyways, until then, read more Kirby comics. Boop!